Hello everybody, welcome back to the second channel, and today we're going to be predicting the 2021-2022 NFL playoffs. The season just ended, 2021 NFL season, but the playoffs are going to be exclusively obviously taking place in 2022, the calendar year. So we finally have our teams. Last year I did a Super Bowl prediction. I'm sure I'll do another one this year on this channel, but we're going to predict the entire NFL playoffs. Now, will every single game that I predict come true? Probably not, because there's just so many of them, so many unknowns. You don't know who's going to get injured. You don't know what team you're going to catch on a bad day. But I'm going to do my best to predict the 2021-22 NFL playoffs here. So let's start off with the Bengals and the Raiders. The Bengals actually have a longer playoff win drought than the Detroit Lions. Their last playoff victory came in the 1990 NFL season, whereas the Lions' last playoff victory came in 1991. But that being said, the Bengals are definitely a different team now than they've been in years past, but they're still very young. The Raiders, it's a disgrace what they did to the hopes and dreams of many. They could have had the tie. They could have finally made the destiny happen against the Chargers that, they were supposed to tie if Jacksonville beat the Colts, and Jacksonville did beat the Colts, but as we know, they did not go for the tie. I think the Raiders are actually going to beat the Bengals. I think that the Bengals are going to break that playoff losing streak eventually. They have a very talented young core, but I think that the Raiders are going to win. Now we go to Patriots and the Bills. The Bills have been a little bit underwhelming this year. I really think the Patriots are a fairly surprising team. They have a lot of energy and momentum. They don't have Brady anymore, but they still have Belichick. Mac Jones is a fairly solid rookie. I think they're actually going to upset the Bills. Both teams are very skilled when it comes to having a history playing in cold weather. I don't think that's going to affect the Patriots the way it would affect a team, let's say hypothetically like Kansas City or Vegas were to go to Buffalo. I think the Patriots are going to best the Bills. I think they're going to get another upset there. So you're going to have two wild card teams actually win. Now, when it comes to Kansas City and Pittsburgh, I think that Ben Roethlisberger, he's had a long career. He's been inside of Super Bowls and bathroom stalls as well. I think that Kansas City is going to get the win there. They've been playing better as of recently. They had a rough spot in the middle of the season. Obviously, it affected my fantasy team because I had Patrick Mahomes. We started off like 5-0, and we ended up missing the playoffs. We got in the losers bracket. We won both games in the losers bracket, by the way, but seriously. So the NFC, as we see here, Arizona is going to be playing the Rams. Matt Stafford, he got his first division title. He has not yet won a playoff game. I think that's going to change. Cardinals have been a team who started off super strong. They've kind of floundered a little bit recently. They still have a bright future ahead of them. That's going to be a very competitive division. Obviously, the Seahawks are rebuilding, but you have the Rams, you have the Cardinals, you have the 49ers. I think the Rams are going to win that game. Stafford's definitely going to have a big day. Obviously, the Cardinals, ever since DeAndre Hopkins has been gone, they just haven't been the same. But either way, I think it's going to be a close game. I just think the Rams have the edge. So Dallas against the 49ers, that's going to be a good game, honestly. It's very weird to be living in a metro area that's actually hosting an NFL playoff game. It's very interesting. Obviously, not really used to that being from Detroit and all, but Dallas, I think that Dallas they actually might end up losing this game. They've been a little bit inconsistent here and there down the stretch. They also have a lot of talent. Dak Prescott's doing his thing up there, but you also have the 49ers. They still have a decent amount of talent. They obviously maybe not where they were 2 years ago, but they're definitely better than last year because they don't have to deal with as many injuries and things like that. Honestly, this game, I'm actually going to go with San Francisco. Dallas in the playoffs, not exactly the best sight to see. As of recently, they got that one win, I think, in 2014 against the Lions that really they should not have won that game. They got that win in 2009 over the Eagles, but the Eagles really weren't that good. And I think that in not 2017, but 2018, they might have won a game there as well. But even, in their great seasons of 2014 and 2016, they still weren't really able to get over the hump. So I'm going to go with the 49ers. I like the energy. I think that the 49ers are going to win that game. But I think that Tom Brady, Tampa Bay, they call it TB for a reason. That is now Brady's home. Revitalize the franchise. The Eagles are probably going to lose by a few touchdowns in that game, as we see there. So that's it for that round. Let's go to the next round here. The 49ers going to Green Bay, and then you have the Rams going to Tampa Bay. So honestly, Tom Brady in the playoffs is just a different animal. Matt Stafford is a great quarterback. I think this is going to be a good game, but I think that the Buccaneers are going to be narrowly favored. I'm going to give them the edge there. I also think the Packers, even though in the playoffs they've been a little shaky, Aaron Rodgers essentially had 2.5 weeks off at this point. I think that the Packers are going to win. I think they are going to beat the 49ers in the divisional round. Could be a good game, though. Could be a good game. But you're going to see another Packers versus Buccaneers conference championship game there. So on the AFC side, the Chiefs-Raiders, another great division rivalry game. I think the Chiefs are going to beat the Raiders there. I think the Raiders' run of magic is going to come to an end. And then when it comes to Tennessee versus New England, you'll see this. You'll see a number 1 seed go down. And the Titans, what were they, like 12-5 this season? I mean, they weren't bad, but they weren't necessarily super great either. The top of the AFC really isn't that impressive. And honestly, the top of the NFC isn't really that impressive either. I mean, but at least you have the Packers and you have the Buccaneers, and you have some new teams entering the mix that are solid, that are going to be really good for years to come as well. Honestly, I think that New England is going to upset Tennessee, and the media hype is going to be huge. Oh, we might see Brady go up against New England in the Super Bowl. So we're going to go to the next week. We have the Packers. They are hosting the Buccaneers, and it is the NFC Championship game. We know what that means. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers' last game. It's going to be very close. I think that's probably going to go to another overtime playoff game that the Packers are going to lose to Tampa, this time to Tampa Bay, just like they lost last year to Tampa Bay at home. In the AFC side, you have New England going to Kansas City. I think that Kansas City is going to win that game as well. It's going to be like, the redemption arc. A lot of people would think that Mac Jones could be the first rookie quarterback to lead his team to a Super Bowl appearance. Apparently not. So we're going to have Tampa Bay once again against Kansas City. This time, I don't know who necessarily would win this game, but you can't bet against Tom Brady. You just can't do it. It's just wrong when you're talking about the Super Bowl. But I could also see Brady losing, and then it'll give him motivation to come back for another season, which would also be interesting too, because people are going to say, well, why doesn't Brady retire? What is he going to be, like 45? He's still going to be playing, probably. He has no reason not to play. He's still getting paid. He hasn't suffered a major injury, at least not so far. So I think Tampa Bay, honestly, I think Tampa Bay would probably win. You can't bet against Tom Brady. It's going to be a Super Bowl rematch yet again. When was the last Super Bowl rematch that we saw? It's been a while, hasn't it? I mean, it really has. You talk about going all the way back to, I don't know, there's been close calls. There's been close calls like New England and Seattle. Seattle made it back-to-back. New England's made it back-to-back, but they haven't exactly played the same opponents. But as of right now, I think Tampa Bay is going to beat Kansas City in the Super Bowl. But things could change. Maybe Tampa Bay struggles and they end up losing to the Eagles somehow because, I don't know, Brady has a really off day. You know, these things happen in the NFL. But as of right now, this is my prediction. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Sub to the second channel if you find this video through just the algorithm. Sub to the main channel as well. We could always use more subs there. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.